My name is Amay Rathi, and I will be doing my presentation on shocks to capital in the 20th century. This is based off the book Capital in the 21st Century by Thomas Piketty. So some important terminologies before I go to my presentation would be knowing national income, which differs in some way from GDP, which is nothing but the domestic output plus net income from abroad. Secondly is capital, which is the sum of non-human assets that could be owned and exchanged in some market. So this includes real estate, financial instruments, professional capital like infrastructure, etc. And this capital can actually be divided further classified into public and private. Public is what the government entities own, private is what individuals and companies own. Lastly is capital income ratio, which is nothing but capital divided by income, and it's denoted by beta. So capital and income ratio, which is the national capital by national income, which in Europe was relatively stable till 1910 and then drastically dropped till 1950 consistently. And the reason for this, to no surprise, is actually due to World War One and World War Two. And now let's look into what actually occurred. What were the effects of the war which led to this? So number one was collapse in foreign portfolio, which was mainly due to the monetary and political shocks of the wars. And since many European countries were actually they had colonies overseas, they actually lost control of it, and it explained for two-thirds of the drop, and it was even more for Britain. Secondly was low asset prices. This was due to mixed ownership and regulations, and this explained for one-fourth of the drop. So all the way from 700% to roughly 300%. Thirdly is low growth and recession. And due to this, actually, private wealth was falling at an exponential rate. It also completely led to the real estate and financial markets to fall at an all-time low. And lastly is low private savings rate, which was mainly because savings were used and absorbed by public to pay for public deficits and repairing of the whatever happened due to the war. Now as you can see, like from 1950 all the way till 2010, it led to a there was a big growth, and I will be explaining why this happened. So Thomas Piketty actually introduced two laws of capitalism, and the second one said that the capital income ratio beta is nothing but the savings rate, so how much the country saves, divided by the growth rate. So just take a minute to absorb that savings, how much the country saves versus divide by the growth. And the rapid growth from 1970 was mainly due to high savings and very slow growth. So developed nations were seeing around 1.5 to 2% growth, whereas they were saving roughly 7 to 15%. This led to an increase in capital income ratio. Thirdly is privatization. Capital moved from public to private at least by three times from 1970. Uh, Lastly is rebound of asset prices, which was after 40 years post-war, after all the infrastructure, etc., were repaired. Real estate and financial markets had recovered and hence have accelerated since. So, for my reason for picking this topic was this actually brings out good theories in economics, as well as it brings out the effects of what happens after a war, and it is very applicable in today's environment, mainly because even though we might not be going physical destruction, a lot of political and monetary destruction has happened because of COVID-19. And this book actually can give us a good methodology and good will provide good theories on for us to kind of think on what's going to happen, mainly because due to COVID, nations are seeing once again seeing very high savings and slow growth, which can lead to even more increase in capital income ratio, which have many consequences like increase in inequality, etc. Yes, so that's my rationale for picking up this topic. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Thank you, and I look forward to your comments.